Good evening, guys. I hope you're okay. Today we are joined by a very interesting, popular amongst locals, our very own MOISH. Welcome, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. How's it?
Much. Funny enough, I always wanted to ask: is it MOISH or MOISH? How do you pronounce it?
It's MOISH.
MOISH.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there is no master of pronunciation. But as long as it's more like close to
Your real name.
yeah.
Okay. So how are you today?
No, I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're okay.
And thank you for featuring me. Well, I didn't know who I was speaking to when you text. But yeah, there's a whole lot of family behind MOISH, so I think you're one of them. So
And I'm glad
thanks, man.
And I'm glad you said that because when I texted you, I didn't think you would reply, mainly because of the profile that I used to text you is new. So I was thinking, do you see yourself how you're perceived? Because to me, I don't know to everyone else. You are our own. I can't compare you or box you to other artists, but then you are Lepala's very own export. So when people talk to you and text you and comment to you, does it ever click to you that you are 10 years ahead from when you started? Like, does it ever ring a bell that I'm now bigger than I was?
Okay. Yeah, it does. But being bigger, it's nothing without the people that support you. So, what I've learned throughout the journey is that, respect your fans, value them, have time for them. On a daily basis, I get a lot of text, I try by all means to interact to almost everyone, You'll never know, man.
When is the right message?
Yeah, when I have time, I do respond. That's why I also responded to you. I think also, as a person, the manner in which you approach someone is important, You need to always get straight to the point for someone to obviously reach out back to you. So, I think the manner of approach you used towards me, I could see that you mean something, you mean business. So, yeah.
Because looking at how far you've come, it really makes me proud to say that I know you and you're from here. And funny enough that you said you should interact with your fans as families and all that. For a person who doesn't groove, I don't groove, but I love music and I love the culture. And I've realized people really support you, like they love you and they're really interested in what you do, how you do it. So my thing is, do you feel like the level of support that you're getting now is backed up by where you are now? Do you feel people recognize you as they should, or do you think you're still catching up to your brand, or are you satisfied with your brand is right now?
Okay. Well, we are still building, but honestly speaking, the support I have from Lepalale, my hometown, it's amazing. There's so much support here. A lot of people really support me, which is rare to get support from your hometown, and I've got a lot of support outside, a lot of support throughout the world, but the support that is mostly important is where you come from.
The one from back home.
If you have support from home, then I play a lot of songs that I did here at home, and the support is just amazing. So for me, that thing pushes me. It shows me that the world will still obviously has to adopt to MOISH and the sound that the people are dancing to. One day the world will obviously adopt to that as well, which makes me happy, and it keeps me going to see people that I probably socialize with dance to my music, and it's not something that is forced onto them. Like, it's genuine love, So that is amazing for me, and I'm glad for that. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's really nice, man. And I want to ask you something. So far, you've come a long way and you've built your brand in such a repeatable manner. I want to ask you, how did it start? And when you were growing up, what music was popular then, and what two types of music that were popular then, and what made you fall in love with the route that you took?
Okay. Growing up, I used to listen to quite a lot of music, you know.
Yeah.
I think my friend there, sitting down there, he's one of the person who used to introduce me to a lot of music. You know, when growing up, it was not easy to get music, you know. We used to go to our friends, you know, purchase CDs, you know, they would write us a CD.
Unlike now.
And it was difficult to get music. But two genres that are actually were popular back in the days, it was obviously Kwaito and local music, man. I don't know, we used to call it Bacardi back in the days.
Yeah.
Before Lokompo. Yeah, I think those were the music that I fell in love. But I listened to a variety of music from R&B, hip hop. I mean, starting to be a musician, I started writing music when I was young. I was not telling my friends about that. I was writing music when I was alone. I used to write lyrics. I used to, you know, just wait until midnight to listen to Channel O and all of that, just to write music, you know, enjoy the music. And my first love, when I realized that I want to make music, there was an event in school, in primary, I think it's a Bosport, ne? It's a Bosport, ne? Yeah. There was an event, I think I was in grade 5, and the guys brought some sound, you know, there was a DJ, and that is when I'm like, you know what, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. I want to follow this. So that's how the passion came. That's how I actually discovered that I want to do something like this when I grow up, you know. So, yeah.
So back then, because I see you make a lot of remixes, we'll get into that. Between being a DJ, collecting music, and actually starting to produce, what came first, in what order? And what made sense for you then?
Okay. My first love was on production. DJ came in second because obviously as a producer, you need to also play the music that you make.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to make music from a very young age. I didn't know I'm going to end up DJing, but as I grow up, I've realized, these things goes together. So obviously I have to DJ. And then, because I was not fortunate enough to have resources, you know,
like the internet.
I couldn't get myself a PC at a very young age. So I had to wait until my first job to buy myself a PC and start teaching myself how to make music, how to produce, and all of it. So yeah.
So you literally built your brand from the ground up.
Yeah, basically, I had to build it because there was no one. You know, it's not easy to get people to show you stuff.
And it's also not easy to get support with something that's widely unknown by the people around you. So when you started, when you got into production and music and all of that, who within your circle was actually supportive of it? And who actually knew what you were trying to do?
Honestly, as I grow up, there was only one friend I used to tell or discuss my dreams with. His name is Josias Mukawa. Even now when he meet me, like when we meet, he's like, you know what, hey, you have been telling me about this and that. But as I start with the career, because I was a bit ashamed to, you know, for people to hear what I'm doing.
There or not.
I couldn't really tell anyone. But the first person that I told was my mother to say, I want to do this. And I think she has been supportive since from that time. So, yeah. And my first track, I made my friend listen to it. They laughed at me, basically. It was a funny story. I was in matric. And they laughed at me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do better as time goes. So, yeah.
Mentioning that you're in matric, I saw in one of your posts, I think it was your Instagram post, one of your friends commented and said, you said in TUT, back in TUT, that you are going to be a big name brand one day. So if you went to TOT, that means you are juggling music, finding yourself and your creative whilst doing academics. You're still in school and loving what you do at school.
I didn't really go to TUT. That guy is my cousin.
Oh.
So he was new in Joburg, so I had to take him around. So Kamukapa go to TUT. And then I'm one person almost every day. I see my dreams, you know. And I even tell my friends to say, hey, I want to achieve that thing. I want to do that, you know. And, you know, I think it's all about the mindset. You know, if your mind say you are going to achieve this, you follow your mind. You know, I think, to everyone listening to this, if listen to your mind. Mindset is a very powerful tool in everything that you want to achieve in life. It's either you allow negativity or positivity
into your life.
You understand? But if you always think positive, then it's much easier for you to chase your dreams. You know, focus on yourself in most of the time.
Did you go to school and finish school and all of that?
You mean like school, high
Post
school
education,
or tertiary?
Tertiary.
I finished matric, and then I didn't have funds to go to varsity, but I was admitted at the vet. I had a bursary which never worked. I don't know what happened with the funds. And then I think everything happens for a reason, man.
You wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here. I wanted to do law, and I feel like if I really went to vet to do law, probably I would be married, you know, by now. I was gonna be a family man.
Yeah.
You know, but I think everything works for a reason. And somehow when I was in matric, I got a bursary through some academic
performance.
Performance, and it was through Standard Bank. Then, when I went to inquire about the bursary after matric, because what they said to me, you need to produce good grades, which I did. Then I went to inquire about the bursary. They told me to submit my ID and my matric certificate. Then I never heard from them, you know.
Okay.
So then I'm like, you know what, let me follow what I love. But in the meantime, I need to find a job. And then I got a learnership. That is when I studied business management, and I worked at ABSA. Then I've been, you know, hustling since from that time. But I wanna do, because now I'm fully aware of what I want to do, what I want
and
to
who
achieve.
You want to be.
I wanna do sound engineering, which obviously deals with mastering and engineering and all of that. So that's what I wanna do. Doesn't matter when I'm going to do that, but
you wanna do
it's one of the things that I wanna do, to say, you know what, at least now I'm choosing something that I know it's gonna work for me. Unlike when you are in school, you are a bit confused on which career to choose. Your family will always say, hey, take teaching because
job security.
They are nursing, they are doctor. But when in you never really found yourself or what I understand. But now at least I know.
It makes sense to you. So did doing business management change how you manage or navigate being a brand?
Yeah, it taught me a lot. Presentation skills, how to deal with people, how to interact with people. Because it's more of customer service related.
Oh.
So they teach you a lot about how to interact with people, how to work with people, collaborate, you know, all of it.
So back from high school or whenever, at what point now did you feel like this was my breakthrough? Not necessarily to this point, but maybe you started getting gigs, you started getting bookings, you started getting recognized. At what point was that?
I think it was 2021.
How long?
COVID-19.
How long into building your brand was this?
I think it was over 8 years. Over 8 years. That was when I got my biggest breakthrough through Black Coffee supporting my music on a song called Ubuhlungu. So I think that song really gave me exposure, a lot of it. So yeah.
And the exposure that you got then, how did it feel at that point? And did you expect yourself to blow up on the next following days, few months? Or
Sorry.
You had high expectations.
Yeah, there is always high expectation, you know, and high expectation can kill your dreams.
Yeah, they usually lead to disappointment.
Yeah, there's a lot of disappointment in the music industry. I've had people that I've worked with, which also had very high expectation, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's a door, right?
Yeah.
And you are here. If the door can open, you are in. You understand?
You're one step closer to what you want.
If it takes long for the door to open, sometimes you become discouraged.
It feels shy.
You feel like people are shutting doors on you and all of that. But I've told myself that I'm going to create music because I love doing that.
Regardless.
And I'm not going to, you know, expect too much. I'm going to be genuine to my craft, you know, do what I love. Doesn't matter how long it's going to take me, you know, for that door to open. Because it's just one door that needs to open, then everything just work or fall into place, you know. So,
okay.
yeah.
I hear you. So there was Gom, there was piano back when you were blowing up. Piano was still new, relatively new, and there was deep house, there was house. What led you to your path and what made you say, this is what I want, even though it's not as popular as I feel it should be, or it wasn't as widely recognized, or like they had a few niches of people who actually love your music. What made you stay clear on what you want? You could have done piano, you could have done anything else. Why stick to your route?
I think it's all about the taste of music you prefer. But I started producing deep house.
Okay.
Soulful house, basically.
Yeah.
Soulful house. And I met a friend of mine called Arthur. Arthur Narada's group.
Yeah.
Narada's group. So, Harrieta Soulful House, we always try Afro House, you know. Not knowing how I'll be good on Afro House.
Yeah.
I understand. So we started making Afro House
together.
We used to call ourselves Luna Fox.
Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately our journey never worked out, you know. But he left me with something, you know, and knowledge in music. That guy was very, very good in terms of ideas. I was very good technically, you know. He would pop up an idea and I would just lay it down.
He was the creative head,
you know. Yeah, so he taught me a lot. And after our breakup in 2017, I made Ubuhlungu.
Yeah, I saw the song. Yeah.
And that was when I'm like, you know what?
So it's in relation to that.
Yeah.
Song. Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, I'm very good at this genre.
Okay.
But also, as I said, the taste of your music, your preference. For me, piano is dope. I listen to it. There's songs that I love. But it's not what I want to do.
Okay.
Exactly. You know,
there's just music.
There's music, there's tracks that I loved. That go back in the days, but it's not what I want to do. I want to do Afro House. I want people to know me
through
with
Afro
a
House.
certain type of music, you know. Yeah.
Coming into that, have you found your sound? Like, is there a sound where in which a person could be anywhere and recognize, no man, that's MOISH?
Yeah, I think with my recent catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that I'm 90% believing that I found my signature sound. If you listen to my latest remix of Swedish House Mafia,
I saw that.
I feel like that is the sound that I've always been looking for, man, you know? And it works out so perfect.
How do you find that sound?
You know, I make music every day, by the way.
Okay.
Every day, I make music. So
Yeah.
as you craft,
You develop
something new comes up, you know?
Yeah.
Something new comes up. Even to everyone out there who wants to make it in life, try what you want to do, have an impact on it on a daily basis, and you will see the results, you know.
In saying that, I remember there's this quote that I saw. It says, or it reads, "Without failure, there's no proof that you tried." Like, there really isn't.
Exactly.
So, getting into your remixes, what actually goes into your remix and the types of sound that you pick to remix? Do you follow a pattern, or do you stumble upon a song when you're hearing it and say, "I like this"?
Hey, most of the mixes I made them because I was bored in studio.
Saying
So-
that, yeah.
So yeah, I was bored in studio. For example, this remix of Swedish House Mafia.
Yeah.
I had the vocal of that song, I think 2 years ago, when it was fresh released, you know.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, and I only made the remix last year, which was a bit funny. And I was playing around, but hearing what I came up with, I'm like, no, man. Let me send this to Black Coffee, Shimza. Let me see the response. I was shocked with the response, you know. So yeah.
And I wanted to get into your Shimzas and your Black Coffee because I see like they really love your stuff. So I wanted to ask you, the venues that they play you at, do you ever feel or see yourself going where your music goes? Is that something that you want for yourself?
Yeah, that's a daily dream. Something that is going to happen.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no, it
Certain-
has to.
Yeah.
It has to happen. So, you know, you need to speak it for it
Speak
to
it into
happen.
existence.
You need to imaginate that, to say this is going to happen, irrespective of whatever challenges that comes into the way. I'm going to get there, so it's going to happen. I'm seeing myself on those stages. I'm seeing myself touring the world. So yeah, it's a matter of time, you know. Yeah.
And when coming into the songs that you actually make, how do you go about picking the people you want to work with, especially vocalists?
Vocalist.
Yeah.
I need someone with a good voice.
Do you
Good
find
voice.
them or do they find you?
I
in
find
this?
them. Some of them they find me, but most of the time I find them. Vocalists are difficult to work with, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them they're a bit lost. So, but I'm glad that the ones that I worked with, they are very genuine to their craft. You know, you would text someone and they will just mize you, just like that. So, yeah, it's a funny world.
When working with vocalists, do you ever write part of what they sing, or you just let them be?
I let them do that. I'm not confident with my writing. I mentioned I used to write.
Yeah. Oh, did you stop?
But I never really followed that. And maybe if I can try that, I would be shocked, surprised that I can still do it, you know? Yeah.
There's a guy that you worked with and you were touring with, or you took to your event. I forgot the name. It starts with a V, I think. I can't pronounce it.
With a E.
V or something.
Or V, Vasilis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vasilis.
How did that come about?
Vasilis, I met him through Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instagram.
I text him basically. I was on YouTube listening to music, and then I found him. You know, he did a cover on this other song, which is an Afro house song. Then I saw him playing the piano. And I was like, hey, let me try my luck. Let me text this guy. I went to Instagram. Instagram is actually the best platform
To meet
in terms
creatives.
of to connect with
Yeah.
people, you know. Text him on Instagram. Lucky bro texted back, and then we spoke, and then we started working on a remix by the Suga, which was Manu Manu.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything started
fell
from
into
there,
place.
and we just clicked, Yeah, it's so funny how you can meet people on the internet and do something that is of
Organic.
Yeah.
So has that changed how you perceive working with people, like getting someone to work with you, someone you didn't even know? Like, does it encourage you to broaden your reach to work further with other people?
Yeah, it does. It does. However, yeah, no, it does help. Let me not talk too much.
Okay. Do you sometimes feel, because you're still a growing brand, there are people who, I can't say they undermine you, but they approach you in the sense that, like, they could just work with you even though they are not as good as you might want it to be. They just text you in the hopes of, he's still scaling up, he'll agree to us working. Does that happen? Or like, people approach you when they are serious and you make things done in set?
Hey, it happened a lot,
And how do you navigate that?
You can't work with everyone at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you have to respect your brand. I'm not saying the guys that approach me, there is something wrong with them, but they need to also understand that of course they need people like us to break through,
Yeah.
but also push yourself as a person. When you come to me with something that is very solid. It's like when I see a talented person, whether they are big or, I will be able to work with that person,
So essentially, talent should speak for itself far more than what you say.
Yeah, talent. It's the best thing you can work with,
And how has it been working with people from home, or have you ever tried that?
From home?
Yeah.
Here at home, there's a whole lot of talent, but I've never figured, someone who can actually relate to my music. Let's say a producer or a vocalist who can. Maybe they are out there that I don't know, because Lepalale it's huge,
Yeah.
But I feel like there is no vocalist. There is artists,
but they don't work well with your sound.
Yeah, they're not really doing the sound that I do. But in terms of Afro House, I know there is a lady, Mbali, that I tried to work with. Actually, we made a song together.
Yeah.
I tried to work with a lady. I don't know her name. It's Nunuki. Is it Nunuki?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah, and then but our project was never successful. But I think if I were to work with someone again in Nepal, I would definitely try her out. But so far, I haven't discovered anyone that I could work with. So yeah, but there is people that makes music in Nepal, producers and artists. So yeah, there is quite.
Saying that, I want to understand one thing. Like, there's always this one thing on my mind. Why doesn't Lepalale have as much exposure as other places? Why do you think that is? Because it's very rare, or don't they get support? It's very rare to see someone from Lepalale blowing up or doing something different or getting the recognition that they put their work into. There are very few in between. Other than yourself, do you see someone at your scale from here?
Let me see. I've seen the likes of I think in terms of music, right?
Yeah.
Or art as itself.
Let's say music.
Music.
Yeah.
I think someone who's pushing boundaries is Nalaboy.
Yeah, I saw him
he's pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
There's other guys that I feel like if they put some seriousness into their craft, they can also go far. But Nalaboy, I mean, yeah, he's pushing boundaries. That's one person that I've seen. I'm not really a fan of Lukompo,
Yeah.
but I respect his work because he's
He puts in
putting
the effort.
the town out there. He's representing us in a good way,
Yeah.
which is good,
Yeah, like I saw the like even like DJs that play whatever genre that they play outside Lephalale, like they are DJs, they're just DJs, they're not producers, but they have a brand. So I'm struggling to understand why is it so hard for us. Like the brands that we have, they're just household brands. For instance, someone that I like, we have Latisha, your Danny D's. They're just household brand. Like I'm trying to understand why is it so hard for Lephalale to just scale up. Is it support or what? When you're looking at it,
Yeah, it's support. It's support. I think, the biggest part of music is
Yeah.
to make your own music.
oh yeah, makes
If you're a
sense.
DJ, you can go to Polokwane and play your music. You can go to PT and play your music. You must understand that there's too many DJs. But
They're doing more or less the same thing.
but we're doing the same thing basically. But if you do your own song that is very unique, that people will relate to, they start knowing, oh, MOISH, Denny D, or Latisha,
Yeah,
But being a DJ only, it's not like back in the days, People like Shimza, they made it in the music industry through DJing.
yeah,
But you must know that back in the days, there were not too many DJs like now. You understand? The parallel as a whole, there's too many DJs already. So, for us to, break boundaries, also we need to incorporate music
Our own
production,
sound,
our own
yeah.
sound, and all of that.
I can give you a few examples. There's Tato Hati, there's like actually in the piano space. There are so many no. There are so many artists, like they work with Calvin Momo, like so many, Omid SA. They're young. Like I was so surprised to find that most of them are just 2001, 2003. Like they're really young. And they started from nowhere. We can't all say like they had these big studios, they had your Kabzas. They started from nowhere. I don't know if you listen to much piano, there's Shaka Man, YTV, Hot Fairs, like there are so many. They're so young. So like it personally doesn't suit me well. So I don't understand if they don't try here at home or what. Like I just don't get it.
Also, I think I think most of the DJs, being a producer, it doesn't start with being a DJ. You need to start to say, I want to make music. So I think the guys that are in Lephalale, most of them, they wanted to be DJs.
They never fell in love with making
You
music.
understand?
Essentially.
Exactly. So that's but I've got there's young boys that are coming, that are doing music. My two younger brothers are doing music. Maybe even here in Marapon there's already a lot of guys that are doing music that are very young,
Yeah.
So
really
you
wish
will
they
never
take
know
it serious.
where the future will take us. But I'm looking forward to see the young people from our town making it out there. I mean, it will be very nice,
Like personally, that's what I want. Like there's so much here. We have so much talented people, but the breakthrough is just so rare. Anyways, I wanted to ask you something. It might be a bit controversial, but it's not. The events here, there are going to be events December, November, coming September. I already know 40% of the lineup. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Even before the poster comes, I already know who's going to be there. So, are there not good enough DJs, or are there people that book them? I don't understand. Are there camps in Lephalale or what? Like, why is it so hard for people to just be given a chance? Like, I'm not lying. I know the events that are gonna come, who's going to be on the lineup. I can name them if you want. So that's like, it kind of bothers me because of here. There's this guy, I don't know his name. Like, when I first came here to scout the place, he's very good, man. Like, he's good. And I think he's still in high school. I saw his status on my WhatsApp. but you will never see him getting booked.
Mm.
So what's the thing with that?
Gosh, that's the thing, man. I don't know how to explain that, but what I can say, people
Yeah.
that consume music,
Yeah.
they're always looking for something new. So I would blame it to the promoters
Yeah.
to say, if you are a promoter and you're not willing to expose new talent, then you are doing nothing for the community. You understand? I mean, I can't talk about me. I've played a lot in Nepalale, and at some point, I'm not doing too many bookings here for a certain reason,
Yeah.
So, but there's a whole lot of talented people that I feel like the promoter of Dibatlova famous or something like it. They just booking people that are well known.
Takes me back to what Mapurisa
know.
said. He said, managers want to be famous.
Yeah, I think that's what
That's
I'm
also
saying.
one of the problems. It's really not fair, man. Like, for every event that there's gonna be here, we already know who's going to be there, except your outside DJs that get booked and all of that. So, with all that said, and mentioning Nala Boy and the event that just took place, Go Mogul, I want to ask you something. Does Lepalale have a gig mentality, or are they ready for events? Because one thing I always have a problem with, I remember attending Danny D's event last year, September, I think. The turnout was low.
Yeah, Lepalale is not ready for events. That one, it's a big problem here in Lepalale. You know why I'm saying that?
Yeah.
If you check, let's say places like Umhlanga in KZN, right? It's not a big town. It's more like obviously something like Lepalale, because it's next to a whole lot of big towns as well. But some places, when there is an event, we support each other. You understand? We support each other in such a way that we go to that event to support that person. But here, the problem is that the fans, they are splitted amongst themselves. The fans are fighting amongst themselves. And then when there is an event, they look for, Kima hosting event
is it? Yeah.
And they will like, no, understand? Yeah. But also, it's not always about that. It's about the curation of the lineup. How you curate your lineup. It's important. I think the guys from Malzwai, Umpile and those twins, they actually brought something very good in Lepalale. Not to forget Sabatu,
Yeah.
I think the best events that we had back in the years was hosted by Sabatu. Here in the stadiums, it's unfortunate he's not doing much of that, but like currently, I think the event that is working, it's the one,
the
Eden from Malzwai with love. But the rest of the events, I feel like we as people from Lepalale, we need to support these guys. We need to support these guys that are bringing the entertainment
to us.
I mean, if you host an event and hey, there's so much cost
that goes into
that is going on the event. The reason I stopped hosting event.
Yeah,
I've seen man. Let me work on myself. Let me work on myself
into an event.
Understand? Let me focus on myself, and I'll come back. Because I was investing a lot in music. That's what I love. Part of growing up as a musician, I always wanted to do events, and I'm gonna do that as time goes. But currently, I'm working on myself.
Have a differentiation in events, because ultimately attending Eden and From Malzwai with Love, it's like attending an event with just a different theme. Like, so they are more or less the same thing. The difference will be then the people you book.
Yeah. No, you are right. But I'm glad that the guys have worked out their differences, which means now they will host one event. So as you said, bringing live performance and all of that, it's actually a good idea. A lot of that, we need to incorporate as well on our events, because I've seen most of the guys, they really love live performance and all of that. So
it brings the crowd alive.
It's a very good idea.
And to actually see someone that, like, let's say for instance you're Zingumalo to perform live, it might not be for a long period of time, but then it brings out the excitement and it changes the atmosphere of the event. So even the next person going into playing, there's a vibe there already. You just build onto it. So that's something I would like to see coming differently, especially with your events. And coming back into your events, I saw there's a mixtape that you drop. Is it February or every January? I saw it on my station. From who? Geneva.
France
or something like that.
Normally these days I drop mixtape once or twice a year.
Yeah. I saw there, I really liked that mixtape that you made. And funny enough, I saw it from a status and I didn't even know you before then. So one thing, this is from me to you, with that mixtape, gather that like people here really love you. I think something like a differentiating factor that you could make that could be your brand is to take that mixtape and turn it into sort of an intimate listening session with the people that like really supported you from the ground up, and a few here and there, and just build the culture that we keep on talking about here. That could be another way of developing it. You could enclose it in a certain space, just incorporate your branding here and there. Then it would be something nice, so as not as expensive as building pop sessions.
Yeah.
So that could be something different, and I would like for you to do.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Basically, it's one of. There's a whole lot of things that I want to do, of which I can't disclose everything.
Yeah,
right now.
And that's not a good thing. Actually.
It's on the line.
Yeah, I would really like that for you. In case you haven't noticed, like, for someone who hasn't listened to your music for a while and now like getting to know you, like, I really have high hopes for you, because of, I feel like you could be possibly, like I said, I don't want to cage you into a narrative, but I want you to be our Black Coffee, our Shimza. Like, that's really important for me to see your brand grows, because you are our very own export, and like, I really love that.
Yeah, no, thanks, man. We pushing,
And for the people listening or looking at this, I want you to understand your Shimza or your Black Coffee didn't start from where they are. They also had a start. So in approaching MOISH, you shouldn't always approach him with the mentality that this is a guy that I know. So you should afford the brand some respect and help it grow, so he could cultivate our talent going forward. Because of Black Coffee now has a foundation. Shimza too has a foundation. They are building different brands. So we can't do that if he's not getting our support. So the more we support his music and whatever that he puts his value into, then he'll grow. And you too can be proud of saying, no, we have MOISH at home.
True that, man. Coming to that,
Yeah.
At some point, you allow, I don't want to use the F word, but you allow a lot of disrespect in most cases, but there are people, obviously, that will come with that disrespect to disrespect that brand MOISH. But I understand, maybe it's because I grew up with them. Maybe it's because they know me personally. But I feel like, especially promoters, I'm going to put it out to you guys, because I feel like the future of Lepalale Entertainment is within you, right? So if we are not shaping the future of Lephalale entertainment, we are not going anywhere. You understand?
We'll just be a town.
Exactly. So shaping it, I mean that let's give other kids a chance. Let's value their talent. Let's respect their craft. If you book me, don't come to me and say I'll give you 1.5. I'm the one who's going to charge you. If you're going to come to me to say I have this much, that's disrespect. You need to ask me how much do you charge, then I'll tell you my rate, and that's it, you know. And one thing that I want to raise is that, I mean, I understand that, you know, here,
Yeah.
the tavern had chalet and all of that. But when you think of it, you would play for 1.5 for like 10 years.
Yeah, and it's unfair because they do make money over time.
And when you think of it, Biri, ne? Yeah. When we 10 years ago, and I say, and again, it was not 30 rand. It increases every year. Yeah. So they expect you to charge the same amount, but they increase their profits, the beverages that we take. But they will always complain about money, you know. I feel like you killing the entertainment industrial palale. These young guys that are coming, like don't use them, man. I mean, give them what they deserve, because they bringing you something to your place. They bringing you good entertainment. Pay them money that they deserve, you know.
They are working with you.
Don't always exploit them, because now there is too many DJs. You feel like you can just use anyone the way you want. I'm taking this because I have experienced this, you know. Yeah. So I don't want the coming future artists or the children that are coming after us to struggle, you know. They need to be appreciated because they are talented. This is part of their talent, their source of income at some point. So you need to respect them, you know.
And their craft. Yeah, that makes sense. Guys, we'll be asking MOISH some of the questions that you submitted. Hopefully there will be a few because we are running out of time. So here's one I want to start with. I don't know who sent this, but they're saying, how did you know Nuzu Deep? You made a new masterpiece song with her. What is the title of the song and when is it going to be released?
Nuzu Deep, I discovered her through her music. She's just an amazing singer. The name of the song is Child of the Stars. It's signed by a record label in Berlin.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's Berlin or, but the owner of the record label is Heine. I don't know if you know Heine. So the song will be released, I think, around October, November, somewhere there. So yeah.
Here's another question. Track ya haule euphonic. It's one name.
Okay, it's actually, his name is Temba, but euphonic is his other name. The song is All Gone. It was part of my EP, All Gone. So Temba approached me last year, November. Then he said he wanna remake the song.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, let's do that. And yeah, we did a remake, and it's signed under More Black Records. It's going to be released before the end of the year.
Here's another question. This is one is their favorite. When are you bringing back Popo Session, bruh?
For now, I can say they need to be patient with me. I don't want to rush myself anymore. You know, yeah, just it.
Another one. This one's fun. Why are you always serious?
Am I always serious?
I don't know, but you seem shy.
Look, man, I'm an introvert.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm only vocal around the people that I know. If I don't know you, it's I go never talk about them. Understand?
Makes sense. So. This one is from me. How did Popo come about?
Popo.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to come up with something very unique, something that people never had before, something that when you see the name, automatically it attracts you
to something particular.
Yeah, before knowing the details in that, you know, when you see pow music, what's that? And yeah, and then that's how it came about. I had so many ideas drafted down, but pow was the main standout. And it was in 2019, COVID-19, when I discovered the name. And then, yeah, man, it's doing wonders. I've got a record label that is releasing globally.
Yeah, I saw that and I love that.
Yeah, I've released quite a lot of music that has been supported by the likes of Coffee, Shimza, a whole lot of DJs out there. They supporting the label. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of the label.
In terms of its growth, are you seeing it incorporate other artists and other genres, or are you solely focusing on building your brand and its genre for now?
Yeah, that's one of the plans, you know. I mean, if let's say we now at a point whereby we are able to finance someone's career.
Yeah, that's nice.
If we see a talent, then why not, you know? Let's push the young stars and then...
Okay, man, thank you for your time and thank you for coming in. Like, I really appreciate that, and I would really love to see you grow, man, and I have high hopes for you.
No, man, thanks a lot. This was a very good interview.
Okay, thank you.
I had fun. And I hope you continue with that. I think you are very good at this.
Thank you.
Just, you know, be yourself, continue doing it, work with your team. Yeah, just be yourself.
And you are meeting, this is a scenario now in closing. You meet someone and they ask you, what do you do? How do you say what you do? And who are you? How would you explain to someone who doesn't know you who you are and what you do? Who's MOISH? They're asking you this.
Okay, let's say I meet a random person, a stranger. You know, meeting a stranger, I don't always disclose who I am to such a point. But as we interact with each other, I get to introduce myself to say, you know what, I'm MOISH, I do this and that. You know, but if someone would ask you based on
professionalism,
career, you know, wise, MOISH is a DJ and a producer, born and raised here in Lephalale, but I grew up mostly in Joburg. So yeah, MOISH is a producer that is making wonders out there.
And you heard it for yourself, guys. Thank you for watching when you do watch, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Cheers, bro. No, man. Thanks. That was good.